Well, that game against Spurs was pretty decent, wasn't it?
Yeah, wasn't too bad at all, was it?
So we're going to have a quick chat about it because both of us were away this weekend, and sadly, this is the first opportunity that we've had to talk about the Spurs game. If you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We do have an ongoing giveaway for either match tickets or for a shirt of your choice. We do this every 500 subscribers, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. And we do have a goal for the video of 20 likes, so please smash a like on the video. It does help the channel grow. So, Corey, let's get straight into it. And I think the first point that I want to talk about, and just for a bit of context, guys, this is a very raw, rough episode. We haven't done any prep work. We have literally just been randomly messaged, said, you know what, let's just get on and have a chat about the Spurs game because it was a fantastic result. That goal by Emi Buendia from Argentina, what a magnificent team goal. I said it on TikTok, it was probably the best team goal that I have ever seen back at Aston Villa, seen from Aston Villa, sorry. And it might sound very reactionary because it's just happened and I can't really think of, off the top of my head, of any other team goals of that quality. Literally everything about that goal was magnificent. The pass from Matty Cash was absolutely sublime, and the touch from Luca Digne to bring it down. Look, people can say that Matty Cash fluked that pass; he didn't mean it, but ultimately, you don't fluke that technique. He's not aimed for Dean. He's aimed to hit an area. He's hit the area expertly, and then the touch by Dean, and then the flick over to Buendia. Oh, magnificent.
It was unbelievable. I think the only goal I can think close to it was probably the goal against Arsenal last season or season before when McGinn scored.
Coutinho one.
No, that was a nice goal though. The
That
McGinn
was a
one
nice
where
goal.
every player in the team touched the ball.
Oh yes, that was a lovely goal. When
Yeah,
he got it back to goal and then
back to goal,
turned it.
spun. Yeah,
Yeah, it
but
was a lovely goal. Actually.
technique-wise, nothing comes close. I think,
Oh no.
as you say, I think I saw a perfect video and it was Tobes. Most of you, if you're watching this, will probably know Tobes on TikTok, Chaz fan, and he put it so perfectly. He's like, every week we watch football and we're calling these players crap, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
There's three players there who every Villa fan at some point has scapegoated and said they're not good enough, they shouldn't be part of the team. My word, the quality. I mean, Luca Digne's doing that on one foot as well. Let's not forget about the fact that he had a hole in his ankle and
Oh
he's
yeah.
pulling that out. He turned into the Bundesliga logo in the air at 33 years old, just casually plucking it out of the air. The ball stopped dead as well. It's not like the ball's flicked back. It stopped dead. And then Buendia had the easy part, which seems stupid because it's a ridiculous finish as well. The curve he's
On
got
his
on
weak
that,
foot.
weak foot. It was just, listen. I was sat in a car watching it. I was coming back up to where I live. I wasn't driving, by the way.
Did you say Wendy's 33 years old?
No,
By the way.
Luca Digne.
Oh, I was going to say. That's what I just had to Google it. I'm sure he's 28.
No,
Anyway,
no.
right. You go back to what you were just saying. You was in the car. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I was in the car watching it on my phone. I wasn't driving, by the way, just to clarify. And some of the noises I was making in that car, when that ball went over to Digne, I was like, oh. And then, unbelievable.
Like the Vince McMahon meme that was going
Genuinely,
around.
it was in real life. That was me.
Yeah, mine was a little bit different. So for those, I was away in Poland this weekend. So I just got out of the car to go up to the flat that we're staying at, and literally got out of the car and I looked at my phone. And I seen the ball. I seen it go to Buendia. I was like, "Go on, have a go, have a go." I was literally at the boot of the car in the middle of a little parking place, but like outside some flats, and just went, yes, get in. I had limbs on my own in the middle of like some little Polish village.
Honestly, it's the best thing because I was in the car with my sister and I scared the living shit out of her, so to speak, put it politely, because obviously she's just driving along and I'm just, oh my god, properly like. It was a ridiculous. And to be fair, Morgan Rogers wasn't bad either.
Mate, imagine being in that away end. I bet it was absolute carnage.
It looked unreal.
To be fair, Morgan Rogers was a lovely strike. He's hit it clean, but I think Vicario needs to do better there.
Oh,
I think he's
100%.
shocking goalkeeping. Don't get me wrong, it's a lovely strike by Rogers, and ultimately it's gone in, so who gives a toss? But he's a terrible goalkeeper.
He's not great at all, is he? Definitely not
Well,
best in Europe like everyone was saying a couple of seasons ago.
yeah, he's not. He's crap. So, was there any standout performance for you? One that I'd like to highlight is, and we seem to do it every single episode that we talk, but Boubacar Kamara.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the that's the easy one. Every week it's minimum 7 out of 10. I think against Spurs, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. He was brilliant. He controlled the midfield. He was winning all his battles. He was doing the defensive work. He was getting forward. It just everything seemed to go through him. It was almost like he was a playmaker at times. It was just, he was brilliant. I think there's other players as well. I think Onana in the second half, especially. I think the
Oh, I
first
don't
half.
know about that.
First half, I think he wasn't great, but I think second half he really picked up. Obviously, just coming back from an injury, not a standout performance by any means, but I think
I thought he's pretty poor myself, mate. I thought, personally, I don't want to make it an episode where we're digging out Onana because ultimately we've won the game and everyone should be on like the high horse at the moment. We should all be feeling really good and about everything around the club, but I don't know what it is with him. I don't know if the club are misprofiling him. That's how it feels to me. I don't think he's a defensive midfielder. I don't know if he's a box crasher. I've got to be honest with you. I don't know what he is because he doesn't do enough of certain things to be considered. It's a weird one. It really is a weird one because you would expect a 6'6" towering midfielder to at least control the midfield or be a bit of a bully in midfield, but he doesn't do anything like that, which is quite concerning for me. Like, let's be realistic now. If we're talking realistically, at the moment, if Yuri Tillemans is fit, he comes straight into that team without a shadow of a doubt, and Onana comes out. So where do you? He's a £50 million midfielder.
yeah, it's
I know he's just come back from injury. Look,
as well has been
yeah, John McGinn can play in that area,
yeah.
and he's been brilliant. So again, I'm not going to make it a slag fest on Onana. So we'll probably move on for that very quickly. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not convinced with him at the moment. But again, like we mentioned just off air, so if we might as well chat quickly about his. He clearly enjoys being at the football club. Clearly has positive feelings for the football club. There's the videos that have been circulating online on X and other platforms of him, swearing at the end of the game. This is what we do. Like going up to the fans, giving the fans loads. When we scored, he was buzzing. Clearly he enjoys playing for Aston Villa Football Club, but with all due respect, some of the worst players in the world could enjoy playing for Aston Villa Football Club. We don't need people that just enjoy playing for Aston Villa Football Club. We need people that are playing for Aston Villa Football Club and with quality. Like I said, I'm not going to slag him off. I'm not going to, because I still think there's a footballer in there. I really do, and ultimately, for that second goal, the third goal of the game, I've hammered Matty Cash in the past. I've hammered Buendia in the past. I've never hammered Luca Dean, actually. That's one I haven't. So I'm happy with that one. But either way, there's two players that I have said that, that's a bit harsh on myself. I've not hammered Buendia. I just said he weren't good enough for the football club. And realistically, on the basis of things of what was the state of play in the summer, I think everybody thought the same. So I'm not going to have that one. I have hammered Matty Cash, but I'm happy to say that he has proved me wrong, and to see that he's signing a new contract, I'm actually pretty happy with that.
I was just about to say, I think that's the keeper one, man of the match again, Matty Cash.
Oh, he's man of the match, 100%. Defensively, done his role really well. Like I said to you earlier, like for me, Evan Gesson, he helps Matty Cash massively.
Yeah,
Massively.
but I think it's just allowed him to be the. I mean, Wilson Odobert didn't have a sniff against Matty Cash. I think there was one where he managed to fluke his way through. Surprisingly, actually, because this is one I don't know how you feel about this, Ben. I thought Mohamed Kudus actually had a good game from what I was watching, but statistically, apparently not. I think he only completed one dribble or something, and
No, he didn't. I read it. Well, I'll have to pull it. Let's pull it up. Last I read, he had no successful dribbles against Luca Dean.
which I'm not sure. I remember him skinning a couple of players, so unless it was someone else, because
Villa, Spurs,
if I'm honest,
stats.
I thought he had a good game, Mohamed Kudus. I thought
He was all right. He
Yeah,
didn't do anything special. So
But again,
so
like
for
I say,
school, have it, wasn't it?
yeah, I just mean in terms of like Digne, for example, because Digne, obviously, I think, had a decent game for his sort of thing. I was a
He's
bit
rated
concerned.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, yeah. I was a bit concerned when I saw Digne instead of Matson playing, but again, defensively, Digne's proved us
Yeah.
wrong.
Dribbles, 6. 0 successful.
I'll tell you who else. I think there's another player who probably has gone under the radar, potentially because he didn't have too much to do, but a player who is absolutely vital to the way we win those sort of games. And you probably know where I'm going with this. Pau Torres. I think his composure and the way, like, we're talking about Kamara getting the ball. Pau Torres is picking the perfect moments to pick out these
Yeah.
players in the middle. And I
I
think,
think as well, we was under a lot of pressure, weren't we, for quite a
yeah,
concerted period of time. So holding onto the ball at certain periods was massively needed.
yeah.
I don't rate Spurs though, mate. I think going forward they're pretty poor. They're screaming out for a proper number 9, and Solanke's the man that they're reliant on. And obviously he's injured, and I don't think he's much cop either, to be honest with you.
I'll tell you what as well, someone else who I want to throw out there as well. Uh, It might be first season syndrome, but I like to call it Bundesliga syndrome because it tends to be the case with Bundesliga players coming over and not doing well.
Travis
Xavi
Simons,
Simons, he is a
crap.
terrible footballer, and I mean terrible. Don't get me wrong. He last season whatnot he was brilliant. There's definitely a player there. We know that, but from what I've seen for Spurs this season, other than that West Ham game, he is awful. The way he let Rodgers get past him for the goal is terrible. Whenever he was getting the ball, terrible. He's tried to scrap John McGinn thinking he's big man. McGinn's just sort of stood there looking at him.
He's very lightweight, isn't he? It makes me think, that Arsenal didn't sign him and Chelsea didn't sign him for a reason. It was Arsenal,
Oh,
was Chelsea, wasn't
100%.
it?
He
It
doesn't
makes me
suit.
think
He doesn't suit
the Premier
the
League.
Premier League. I just think it's all well and good having these silky players, and I think that's what made Morgan Rogers so different last season.
He's
Is
built like a shithouse as well, isn't he? Big
exactly like
lad.
6'3", muscular lad. Like,
He's got everything you need for that physical profile for a Premier League footballer.
talk about Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, before we go into that though, because it's fresh in my mind, I'm just looking at the stats. Ollie Watkins got 6.2 out of 10 for the game. I know he's only on but he's on the same amount as Buendia. I thought that was quite harsh. I actually thought Watkins, when he come on, he did really well. Held the
Emery said
ball up.
himself.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I thought he was
Obviously,
brilliant.
he didn't score, but ultimately, he did everything you'd want him to do as a striker.
He did exactly what he's good at. In the moments when we were defending, he was on the edge of the box and he's dribbling past 2-3 players and getting the ball up the pitch. It's what he's good at. It's what McGinn used to do in the Championship. The one thing we loved about McGinn was if we were under the cosh and we were winning, McGinn was capable of getting that ball from the edge of our box to the corner, and Watkins was doing that. And like I say, I thought he played really well. I think obviously, listen, ratings are ratings. The only reason he probably got a 6.2 is because he probably only completed like 4 passes or something. They're not going to give him points for running into the corner and keeping the ball or anything like that. But I agree. I thought he did really well.
So Morgan Rogers, where do you want to start?
It's an interesting one. I think, for me personally, again, I think this might be somewhere where we disagree. I'll be honest, I thought he was quite poor, other than his goal. I don't think he really did much in the game. I think towards the end, when everyone was tired, he looked a lot better, running towards tired legs and stuff. But again, I think he was losing the ball fairly frequently. He wasn't really... The biggest issue I have at the moment, and it worked well for him against Van der Ven once and it got him a yellow card, but his awareness of who's behind him, he constantly seems to be turning into trouble. And he's constantly losing the ball, and that's it. Don't get me wrong, it was better. He's got a goal.
I think that's driven by Emery, though. I do. Because he gets
Potentially,
it, he has it from all of our, like Tielemans when he plays in that central role. He's always he asks our players to beat the press sometimes in a one. If you're in a 1v1 situation, it's getting the better of that one person. Because look, if he gets around, let's say Van der Ven, he's running out of their back 4 straight away, or back 3 at that point, because obviously Van der Ven stepped out, and he draws the foul, draws the yellow card. Emery likes that.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is Morgan Rogers hasn't had the better of players, and I think that's driven massively from confidence. And the scene after he scored his goal, I don't know if you noticed, but he looked like he was playing with a bit more swagger about him. He looked like he was playing Still not at the level that Morgan Rogers can play at, but he was definitely better. I agree with you. I think leading up to the goal, I don't think he was very good. I think he was below par, but
Well,
I think he definitely
I
improved.
messaged you, didn't I? I said in my head I was preparing a monologue for this podcast about get rid, he's a waste of time, this, that, and the other. Like he was doing nothing, and then obviously he goes and wraps one into the middle of the goal.
Well, there's whispers of him getting a new contract, mate. So I don't think we're going to be
Yeah,
getting rid of him anytime soon.
no, definitely. To be fair, I think one thing as well, talking about him turning, last year players were getting tight on him straight away, so that turn was brilliant for him. He'd turn and he was gone because of his strength. I think now they're giving that sort of yard space behind because they know if he's going to turn, that's when they can jump in. And to be fair, I think credit where credit's due. It's not someone we spoke about, but Mickey van der Ven, I thought he had a really good game. I think he is a top-class centre-half. He's quick, he's strong. I thought he was pretty decent for Spurs, unlike 90% of the team, Pedro Porro. I saw Benson Kerr got a lot of stick, to be fair, from Spurs.
I didn't think Spurs were very good in general. To be honest with you,
Paulinho was good. I thought he was really good.
Palhinha, yeah, he did okay. I thought Benson Kerr did okay. I think that's probably their strongest area. But apart from that, I think going forward, they were pretty terrible. Matt Towell, he's a donkey. He's awful.
Championship quality by watching him.
He is. But even they brought the players off the bench and like I went into the game and I didn't fear Spurs in the slightest. Like I thought the same last year, and then we got spanked 4-1. So I think they're an interesting team because I don't think they're much cop at all.
I think there's a weird sort of vibe around, like, especially Villa this season and teams like Spurs as well. Like you say, like I think we were messaging during the game, and you were messaging saying like we can get something from this. Like Spurs on a good side, and I messaged you back saying we're not good either. That's the problem. And obviously we won 4 on the back. I think it was more of a reactionary thing because I was a bit annoyed that we went 1-0 down after 4 minutes against, as you say, a side that we could beat. But I think
Sloppy goal to give away as well, weren't it? I think was it Anana
it
did
hit
some
Anana on the
stupid
way through. Yeah, it deflected off him, didn't it?
Oh, that
Not
was
a lot
right.
he
Yeah,
could do.
would
It was from the corner.
yeah, that was right. Yeah,
Great ball by Kudus, to be fair, and good header by Paulinho down. But again, that's one area this season where I think Onana massively helped on the weekend. But that's one area this season we've struggled with his set pieces, which is weird considering we only conceded from 1 set piece last year. I want to say.
yeah. I can't remember what happened in the build up to get getting the corner. I don't know if you remember, but
It was someone gave the ball. Someone gave the ball away.
that's probably what I'm on about. Then I don't know if it was Anana.
Onana gave the ball. Onana played it short to Konza, and Konza had to go in and towel
That was
the
right.
ball off him. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then obviously
stupid.
yeah. But
So
again,
early away from home.
Yeah. The one thing that obviously did help was his aerial ability from those throw-ins and stuff, because throw-ins, especially this season, we've really struggled with. I don't know what it is about those long throws. I mean, it doesn't help that Martinez decides to stand on the edge of the 18-yard box for him, but
Well, he nearly dropped a bollock as well, didn't he? Because he flapped at that the one corner, didn't he?
well, he just dives around, doesn't he? If he's not getting it, he throws himself to the ground and hopes for...
Right. Anything else you want to talk about?
I suppose we can talk about the little contracts and stuff.
Yeah, so obviously we've had the news today that Matty Cash, as we already mentioned, has signed, as agreed in principle, to sign a contract until 2029 with an extension of a year if the club want to activate it, which is fantastic news for the football club. In the same post, Jacob Tansworth also broke the news that John McGinn is very close as well to agreeing a new deal. And then Sky Sports reported on Morgan Rogers. So it's been a very busy day. I know you mentioned Yuri Tielemans and Pau Torres apparently as well.
Yeah, I think it was last week or a couple of weeks ago, Jacob Tansworth said about sort of Villa going to start contract talks with those two. Because again, Pau Torres is another one where I think we both sort of said at the start of the season we wouldn't have been surprised if he got sold, but
He's come on well, hasn't he? To be fair, Torres.
He
And
has, yeah.
to
He's
be
back
honest with
looking
you,
brilliant.
he's a quality centre half. He just. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was. I'll tell you what. We'll review what we're saying here after the weekend when he plays against Haaland. See
Yeah.
how he gets on. And don't get me wrong, that sounds harsh because Haaland can absolutely rip anyone apart. Look at his goal scoring record so far this
12
season.
games in a row
Yeah.
now already.
Well,
So
my point being more so, he usually struggles against those physical dominating centre forwards. If he's fit, do we see Tyron Mings come back in for the game? Because he always seems to do well against Haaland. I wouldn't be opposed to that myself, but then again, I think Unai Emery likes having the control of Pau Torres in the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the team looks like. Yeah, I'm happy to see Cash get a contract. McGinn as well. I think
I'd be interested to see wages. That's something that I'm interested in because obviously I think McGinn will probably take a wage cut. I imagine because that'll then help to get the Morgan Rogers
yes,
deal
yeah.
over the line because he'll probably want more money. Pau Torres, I imagine, will probably be on the same but with different bonuses. Probably because he's 29, Pau Torres, so he's sort of peak of his career still. And
I think that's one thing the club doesn't do well enough, to be honest. And I say this like I'm sat here, like I know all the details of each contract, but you look at Chelsea, for example. I think if correct me if I'm wrong, but Cole Palmer, he's on like 100k basic, and then like his bonuses go like to take it up to like 200k plus, but like I think that's what clubs should be doing, activating bonuses a lot better for performance related. I'm pretty sure, and again, I'm not 100% sure because I say I'm pretty sure, 100% sure that doesn't really make sense. I'm confident I read something that if it's a bonus related payment, it doesn't count towards the contract in terms of SCR. But I might be wrong. But I'm pretty sure I read that. So, and that's why Chelsea get away with it. And they've got all these contracts on these players on massive contracts, but their actual salaries aren't that big. It's more if they activate their bonuses. That's when it gets quite expensive. But like when you've got players like certain players that don't play as often, it's clever from them.
I think that's it. When you build that pedigree, you can do that. You look at like the likes of Bayern Munich, for example. If you look at Bayern Munich's contract situation, 90% of their players are on under 100 grand a week. There's not many. I think
Mad.
Harry Kane's one of the only ones who's on big money, and that
And you're
is
talking about one
because,
of the best strikers in the world.
yeah, if not the best player in the world. Like,
Oh, I don't know about that far.
but that's again, he's earned that. It's the same with City. Like Haaland's on a lot of money because he's one of the best strikers players in the world. Like, I think Villa have obviously been. We know they've been terrible in the past with Johan Lang and stuff with the Dendoncker situation, Coutinho, those sort of things. We are now slowly starting to progress with it, and it's helping Morgan Rogers out as well.
And he took us a few years and a few steps back probably than where we wanted to be, but ultimately it was never going to be a quick term fix, was it? And it's all about long term growth for the football club, and we're going in the right direction now. 5 wins in a row, and ultimately was it now 8 games unbeaten? Was it 9?
7.
It's 8. It's 8, isn't it? Yeah, because we got
if you include
three draws, 5 wins.
Yeah,
That's mental. That's literally mental.
5 wins in a row, so
Yeah.
get me a haircut.
Yeah, you can have your haircut. You know what? Shram can't have his haircut. Wee, dickhead. That's what you get for supporting a shit football club. What? Who said that? Anyway, so Manchester City this weekend. We'll jump on potentially Thursday. I think you said you might be free. Do a little bit of a preview show. I might see if I can get Steve from the Man City fan on that. I'll chat with him about it. And we'll go from there. So if you've got nothing else to speak about, I'm happy to wrap it up there.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah. Well, if you've enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a like on the video. It's really appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed me and Cory. Just a chilled episode. Just catching vibes, man, after that absolutely fantastic win against Spurs. And you know what? It's just an absolute privilege to sit here and say the Villa are back. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.